Hi there. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to follow the rules of the upcoming Low Fat Vegan Weight Loss Challenge on my YouTube channel. And this challenge is starting October 2024, but you can participate at any time if you are finding this video at some point in the future. So I've got a lot to cover. I've got a list here that I'm just going to read off of to make sure I don't miss anything. And if I do think of something that I want to add later, I'm going to just add it to the show notes in the description box of this video. And again, if you're just hearing about this for the first time, there's a playlist where all of the videos are going to be uploaded. There's going to be a daily video, at least one daily video, sharing support, encouragement, tips, ideas, meal recipes, and a lot more. And so the videos are kind of going to act as a meeting place for everyone that is participating in this challenge. If you want some encouragement, if you want some, just support from someone else who's also doing it, it can feel nice to kind of chat in the comment section and maybe even use it as a check-in, a daily check-in, just to say, I'm doing great, or this is what I struggled with yesterday, and just kind of give feedback and get feedback. So yeah. All right, without further ado, I'm going to get into the rules, and I don't want this to be daunting because it just sounds like it's a lot of rules, but it can be quite simple once you get the hang of it. And first, I'm also going to say that this is the all-in version. That's what I'm going to be doing. So it is a true low calorie density, low fat vegan diet that we're going to be following. And if you want to make a modification, you can, but I recommend setting your guidelines at the beginning of the month of how you are intending to follow it and sticking to your own rules. Because if you start going kind of wishy-washy and just saying, today I'll have some of this, and then tomorrow I'll have some of that, and that's fine, and a little bit of this is okay, then before you know it, you're not actually following anything and you're just kind of winging it, and you can get off course. So, this all-in method, which is how I lost over 30 pounds a few years ago and kept it off. And anyways. So it is no oil, salt, or sugar. So it's SOS free. The really, really, really big one is no oil. So whatever version you're doing, if you're gonna have if you decide that you want to have a little bit of salt to, get yourself to eat more veggies, and that's how you're gonna do it, fair enough. But no oil is really important if weight loss is your goal, because oil is as high up on the calorie density list as you can get. So no oil, salt, or sugar. No meat or animal products. So no dairy, yogurt, anything like that. No dining out. Now, I know this is a hard one for many people. If there's a birthday and something that you absolutely have to attend, then okay. But eating at home where you can prepare your own meals is so important. Or prepare your meals and bring it to work, bring it wherever you're going as much as you possibly can, because that is your environment and you can control your environment. You can control what you are preparing and putting in your own body. But when you go to a restaurant, you can try your best to order healthy. You can say no oil. Half of the time, there's going to be something that has oil in it. You can say no extra salt, but almost everything is prepared with salt, oil, and often sugar as well in restaurants. It's really challenging to avoid, with a few exceptions. I can talk about that in some videos. Sushi is an easy one where you can just get white rice, some edamame, uh, vegetable rolls, things like that. And there are a couple other dining out options, obviously salads, but they're not too filling generally. Okay, next, no alcohol. Straightforward, alcohol is pure sugar and not great for you. Next, coffee and tea. If you're if you're someone who drinks coffee daily, I'm not going to put too much on you and say that you have to give up coffee, and giving up coffee is its own 30-day challenge, if that makes sense. So maybe save that for another time. If you can ditch adding the sugar to your coffee, that's ideal. Maybe just switch to monk fruit sweetener or stevia, something that's a natural low or no calorie option. So if you're already drinking coffee, fine, maybe one coffee a day. But if you want to go all in and also try giving up the caffeine as well, then that's fantastic. Next, water is going to be your main drink. And I put smoothies are okay, but no pure fruit juices. You want to keep that fiber. We really want to focus on fiber rich foods that are filled with water as well. Because as I mentioned in a previous video, neither fiber or water contain calories, but they help to add bulk to the food and help you feel fuller for longer. So green juices are okay. Like if you're drinking spinach and celery juice, that's fine. But as far as the sugary pure fruit juices, that's not going to be on our list. Okay, no crackers, bread, cookies, muffins, etc. There's nothing wrong with these if you have like a healthy version. But as far as weight loss goes, they are packed with calories much more densely than, say, having a bowl of oatmeal, which would be a great alternative because the water in the oatmeal is going to help keep you fuller for longer. And it also really brings down the calories per pound of the food, comparing it to like an oatmeal cookie or a muffin. So none of those dried, crunchy starches like crackers. And also those, I mean, we'll get into the addictiveness of certain foods also in some future videos, but because I do want to keep this video to a certain length of time. But the crackers, and I will share with my own experience, when you start to concentrate these foods artificially, like instead of having the natural whole grain in a different form that is like an oatmeal or a rice or quinoa, when you start having crackers and cereal and things that are crunchy, dehydrated foods, you can, especially when you add salt and oil, you can really start getting those addictive feelings. And that for me, I cannot eat one or two crackers. I can eat an entire pack of crackers and have very many times in one sitting. For me, once I start with the cereal and the crackers, like I can eat a bowl of cereal that is a salad bowl. Like people would be like shocked to see how much cereal I can eat in one sitting. And so for me, it's definitely like an all or nothing food. I just had to say, you know what, I'm going to stick with oatmeal because it's a healthier choice for me. And those types of food just lead to me wanting to cram. Like I can, when I get started on those processed crunchy foods, it sets me off on like just more and more and more. And they're really challenging to, moderate. And another topic we're going to get into is moderation and how challenging that can be when you're trying to, you know, stick to healthy eating. But the nice thing is with this way of eating, you don't have to worry about moderation. We're going to be not counting calories. We're eating to satiation because these foods are so low in calorie density, calories per pound, that you can eat until comfortably full and not worry about gaining weight, which is awesome. And actually, that was meant to be number one on my list of things to mention: no counting calories. I encourage you not to count calories. I know a lot of people do it because it just feels familiar and it feels safe, and you want to make sure that you're not overdoing it. But you want to be free of counting calories. This is kind of like going back to a natural way of eating. You're eating natural foods, and in nature, no animal has to count calories. They just eat until comfortably full because they're eating the food that was meant for them. And we're going to be eating food in its more natural state. Obviously, things like rice and oatmeal are somewhat slightly processed, but you know what I mean. Not heavily processed packaged junk food. Okay, no dried fruit. Again, I'm not saying that they're unhealthy. I have raisins sometimes, but um, for this 30-day challenge, we're going to be staying away from the higher calorie dense foods. So we're going to be opting for fresh fruit. So in your oatmeal, you're going to have berries. You can use fresh or frozen fruit. But chop up a banana. No nuts and nut butters. Very high in calories per pound. Pure fat, essentially. Okay, so now let's focus on what do we eat. And yes, we do get to eat a lot of yummy foods. So rice, oatmeal, potatoes, sweet potatoes. Dr. Lyle, who's on Chef AJ's show all the time, calls these wet starches, and I just really like that term. You can also think of it as steamy starches. So these are starches that when cooked retain a lot of water, and you'll notice them steaming, like steaming bowl of oatmeal, a steaming bowl of mashed potatoes. So potatoes, quinoa, millet, if you like, oatmeal, sweet potatoes. You're going to be eating these foods daily, and I do, and I hope you like them. I happen to love them. Okay, Next, veggies, beans, and fruit. Beans are going to be the highest on the calorie density scale of what you're going to be eating. And they're a great source of protein. You can make dips, you can blend them, and I'll be sharing some easy recipes with you. And veggies, raw veggies, steamed veggies, baked veggies, veggie soups, chili dishes, fresh and frozen fruit I mentioned. And yes, smoothies are okay because they do have the fiber. So the drink still retains the fiber. You're not removing it like you would with a fruit juice. Sorry, I just keep checking the baby monitor. Okay, next I'm going to share with you a very easy meal formula, and it's basically greens, beans, and potatoes. That's a really, you can make so many different variations. That could be like I said, a soup, a chili dish, and I'll show some pictures maybe, or in upcoming. You can check my Instagram, but maybe I'll put some pictures up to show you some examples of that. Another one is greens, beans, and rice. Really easy. I mean, we're going to be sticking with simple meals. So if you're someone who likes a ton of variety and you want to eat different things all the time, this is going to be extra challenging for you because part of what makes this easy is setting it on autopilot. So you're going to find a few meals that you like a few breakfasts, a few lunches, a few dinners, and just keep putting that on repeat. Just put that in like the cycle. And so you have meal number one, meal number two, and meal number three. And then the next day you do different breakfast, different lunch, different dinner, and then just go back to number one after you've had your one, two, three, four, whatever works for you, basically. I'm going to share with you a bunch of meals. I want you to experiment and see what you like. Obviously, it's important that you like the taste of the food. So you can definitely season it with lemon juice, with balsamic glaze, with liquid smoke if you like that hickory flavor, with garlic powder, onion powder, chili flakes, some hot sauce if you like, and anything that basically doesn't contain oil, sugar, or salt. And I will be honest, when I initially started eating this way and I lost the over 30 pounds in a few months, um, I did use soy sauce and salt. So I did salt my food. I was making the bean dips like every day with the no oil fries that I made. And I was putting actually probably quite a bit of salt in that. Salt has been the hardest one out of the salt, oil, and sugar for me to give up. For me, like not adding any added salts was really, really, really challenging up until very recently. But I was watching a lot of medical lectures by Dr. Peter Rogers, who I got introduced to from Chef AJ's channel, all about the blood flow and how important it is to not add too much sodium to your diet and what it does and how it can cause atherosclerosis. And, anyways, another tangent, but maybe I'll share that in future videos too. But basically, a lot of salt is really bad for you. I've known that for a while, but it's just been so challenging to give it up once and for all and stop adding so much soy sauce to my meals. And then eventually you just start liking the taste of the food and you realize you don't need it. But it takes a little while for your palate to readjust. Okay, next is, yeah, simple meals are the best. I've said that already and it's really true. Hang on, baby's awake. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So let's talk about what you can expect from this challenge. We can expect to lose anywhere between half a pound and 1 pound of fat loss per week. And again, that really depends on how much weight you have to lose and your metabolism and some other factors. So, how you're going to track that is week to week. I spoke about that in the previous video with the calendar method. Just we start on a Tuesday. So on Tuesday, you're going to write down your current weight. And then the next week on that Tuesday, you're going to weigh yourself and write down that number again. And same with the next week and the next week. And you are just going to track that progress week to week. So don't worry about the days in between because it can get a little blurry and confusing if you start looking at your progress every single day and comparing your today's weight to yesterday because of water weight and things like that. You can see up and down a little bit when you first start. So don't let that freak you out at all. Week to week, and eventually, if you stick with this long enough past the 30 days, month to month are going to show you really realistic snapshots of true fat loss. Okay, another thing that I want to say is that this is not meant to be something that you do from day one and do it perfect. And I just don't want to portray this perfection like I am someone who follows this perfectly and never ever has an indulgence and is completely militant about it. And I just think if you set yourself up that way, even though you may have the intentions um, in a good way to just be super healthy and stick with it, I just don't want you to get discouraged if you find yourself eating something that is not part of your plan. So just pick yourself back up if that happens. You figure out what happened. Maybe you just underate. Maybe you didn't eat enough food and then you were craving something and you reached for it and it happened. Forgive yourself and move on. We're all human here. This isn't about perfection. This is not about trying to, you know, prove anything to anyone. This is about you, your body, your goals, your health, and trying to make a positive change in your own life. And so be kind to yourself through this whole process. And we are going to talk a lot about cravings and about how to overcome them, how to overcome some other challenges, social challenges that we may face. We're going to talk all about that. Again, we've got 30 days, so there's lots to chat about, and we've got the time. So I will be uploading those videos. And again, you can send in your requests for me when it comes to that. I'll try to answer all questions in the chat as well, or the comment section, I should say. I'm trying to think of anything else that I have not covered. I know exercise is something I was going to make a separate video on, but I'll touch on it here. When it comes to exercise, just moving your body is super important, but it's not necessary that you follow a rigorous workout routine every single day or 3 times a week even. Just move your body daily. If it helps to set a walking target like 5,000, 7,000, 10,000 steps a day, then you can set that and try to hit that daily target just to remind yourself to walk and to move your body. But otherwise, just daily movement, whatever form of mild exercise that you like. If you have a rebounder, those little mini trampolines, you can do some of that, maybe 10 minutes a day of that. But just move your body. But our number one focus is going to be food choice. The food that you choose to put in your body is what makes the number one difference when it comes to fat loss. McDougall has always said it. Dr. McDougall says, the fat you eat is the fat you wear. It's absolutely true. And his other little quote that I like is, it's the food. And I just couldn't agree more. It's the food. The food is what makes the biggest difference when it comes to weight loss, health, how we feel. And it's so crucial to get that one factor right. And it can be very, very challenging. So another thing I want to say is that this is going to be, I want you to look at it as an experiment. So maybe the first day or so the meals that you're eating aren't filling enough for you. That's fine. Doesn't mean you have to throw in the towel. Let's tweak it. How can we tweak it? How can we make it work for you instead of trying to fit yourself into some mold? We're going to make this way of eating work for you and your lifestyle. So that may look like 5 little mini meals throughout the day. That may look like 3 bigger meals or even 2 larger meals. Maybe you like to fast in the morning and eat meals later on in the day. Maybe you like to stop eating at 4 or 5 p.m. Because it makes your digestion feel better and helps you sleep at night. Whatever works for you, do that, and feel free to customize this accordingly. All right, I'm going to wrap this up now, and I hope this video was helpful for you. Again, feel free to reach out to me here in the comment section and let me know any questions you may have for me. And other than that, I think we're going to call it a night. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.